Welcome to a Rankum edition of Three's a Crowd. I'm Preston Vargas alongside Eli Atwood, and today's different type of episode will be ranking our favorite sports months of the year. Now, this is the whole debate on which month is the best month for sports. Some say this time of year is the best time for sports. Others say you can't have the best sports month out football season. Before we get into this one, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Our goal is to get to 200 subscribers by the start of football season. So hit that like button and subscribe. Let's get into it. So we'll start out with number 12 and then work up to number one. We'll start with you, Eli. What's your worst sports month of the year?
Number 12 was honestly the easiest one for me by far. It's July, no question. I mean, there is nothing going on in July.
Absolutely, July. I have it at number 12 as well. You get the Wimbledon on baseball regular season and the All-Star break, but for me, July, you have those few days during the All-Star break where there's nothing on. Like there's one day where the top thing is to watch is Mexican soccer,
Yeah,
and
that's pretty bad. There's a golf. Is there a golf tournament in July, maybe?
yeah, the Open is in late July.
Yeah.
That's a, that's another one, but 12 we both agree is July. Number 11, how about you?
This one was a little tougher, but I chose going with August right after July. You do have the start of college football, but usually that first part of college football is not that great. I mean, you got a lot of Power Five playing the FCS. It's just not really the best month.
Absolutely. I agree with you too with 11. I have August there as well. I mean, yeah, the Little League World Series, which is always one of my favorite times of the year to watch. And also, NFL preseason. I never miss a preseason game for the Bears, where I think we've won our last six preseason games or haven't lost our last six preseason games.
Yeah, I think there was a tie. Yeah.
Yes, against the Dolphins on that
Yeah.
first preseason week. The fact that we keep track of preseason shows how dedicated we are to the Bears. But I mean, it's hope for NFL fans. You have training camp, but I have 11 for August. How about number 10?
Number 10 is where it starts to get tough. This is a month that's not even really a bad month by any means. I'm going with our current month here in April.
Really? April?
April.
Why is
My
that?
logic for that, there's not a lot of playoffs going on. You have the start of the NBA playoffs, but football's over. Uh, Hockey's also just barely starting into the playoffs, but you're not really to those later rounds yet.
I'm
Baseball's just started off, but yeah, it's April for me.
I'm surprised that April's that low. I do have it a little bit higher on the list, but and I'll explain my reason why when we get there. But for number 10 for me is February. You might be surprised at that.
Hmm. Yeah, February is definitely not one of the better months. I thought about moving it lower, but I pushed it a little higher just because of the Super Bowl and also the Daytona 500's in there.
Yes, you mentioned Daytona 500 and Super Bowl in February, but one of the reasons I have it is the All-Star break. You have a break in the action uh for the NBA and also for NHL lately with when you both had the I think you had the international All-Star break for hockey as well. Whatever they do, it's at the same time as basketball, which makes it harder. But you
Yeah,
also
it's
have
pretty
college basketball
frustrating.
there, which I love college basketball, don't get me wrong, but when you have pro sports missing games or on days, then it it goes lower on the list for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
And how about number 9 for you?
Number nine for me, I'm taking September. At the
September.
start of the NFL season, you're not really in the playoffs for any sport. I mean, baseball, maybe a little bit of the playoffs at the end of September, but
You're more in a
September's
postseason
sliding in there.
races at that point.
Yeah,
But for me, number 9, this might be surprising, but June.
really. Yeah, I definitely had June up a little higher as well.
But don't get me wrong, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, you're crowning two champions in June, also the College World Series. But it's about the amount of games. Same reason why the Super Bowl month for February is low. Just the one game in February. But
Yeah, I think you maybe took the quantity approach. I took more of the quality route. So I can see
Yeah.
where that plays into this.
But you still got baseball regular season. That's when you figure out which teams are really going to contend and which teams are probably going to sell at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And then number eight, who do you got?
And number eight, I've got the month of May.
Okay.
Very similar to June, kind of like you said, but for me, May is just like a worse version of June. You've got the playoffs, but they're not quite there. MLB hasn't fully ramped up. I mean, you're not in the finals at least yet, so that's what's coming in for me.
May, that's a good answer. I have that around there, but number eight for me is September. The same reasons why you had. It's the start of NFL season. You have hope for fans and college football. It's also starts at that time. But from our experience going to games in September, those are the times you always come home with a sunburn. And
Yeah,
and like you said, baseball's postseason starting to ramp up with the final races going in. You don't really have baseball and or excuse me, basketball or hockey. They're still in their early training camps at that point, and that's why September is at eight for me. And how
yeah,
about
definitely can't blame you there.
and how about number seven for you?
Number seven for me, this is where February goes into line. Like you
Oh,
were saying, there's not a high quantity of games, but the ones that they do have are pretty high quality. You got the Super Bowl, got the Daytona 500 in there, two of my favorite sporting events for the year.
hmm
So definitely can't understate that.
absolutely. I mean, those same reasons what you said. I mean, like you said, it's probably the quality of games going up there the list. And at number seven, I have May right here. You get to you're right in the middle of the playoffs, in the middle of the second round of conference finals for both basketball and hockey. This is where I put May. Also, you have maybe some college baseball action or any regular season baseball action really in May. And you get start of mini camps in football, and that's where I'll put May at seven. Plus the Champions League finals that month as well.
Oh yeah.
And how about number six?
Number six for me is where I'm putting in June. You
Okay.
know, like we mentioned earlier, got the finals, got the Stanley Cup. I think also the college baseball playoffs are in June, right? So
The
there's a
World
lot going
Series.
on. MLB, I'm not the biggest MLB fan, but you got the MLB, you got NASCAR. WNBA, I think, starts in June. Is that right?
It starts in May, but the
May,
regular
so it's
season
going on in
is
June. Yeah, so there's quite a bit going on in June.
absolutely. Number six for me is November. This is where it starts to get tough when you have those in the middle. Like you have this is where I put November because of NFL football, whether your team is in it or not. This is probably toward the end of the college, or it is the end of the college football season. You're starting to figure out who's going to get into the playoffs at that point. You have the weekly release of the rankings show in November. And also fantasy football, you're making that final playoff push there. That's where November goes for me.
Yeah, it's pretty good take there.
And how about number five?
Number five for me is where I've got October. October
Really?
is a great month. You know, you got probably one of the best regular season months for the NFL. You got the start of NBA, just a little bit of it, and start of NHL. Also, college football, of course, and you kind of got the end of some of these lesser sports. So there's definitely a lot going on in October.
Absolutely. A lot going on in October. I am surprised it's at five. I got it slightly higher for me,
Yeah,
but
I just felt like there's a lot of good months, and these other months bring a little bit more in terms of playoff action and high stakes stuff. I also don't really value the World Series as highly as you probably do, so might
really,
be part of it. I don't really watch baseball, so
uh, I mean, number five for me, I would say January. You got the NFL playoffs going on that month. Also, the college football championship is that month as well. Plus, you really know who's gonna uh contend for the NBA and NHL titles at that point. That's pretty much where it's solidified. You know which teams is going to be good. Of course, they're going to run down the season like Charlotte did, but I think January is where Charlotte's season started to turn around for them. That's why I have January at number five.
Yeah, I'm surprised January is that low too. So, definitely some differences here.
Ah, how about number
Moving
four?
on. Number four. Why don't you go first for number four? We'll switch it up a little bit.
Okay, number four, I have December. Now, this is where you
Hmm.
have the conference championships, then the first round of the college football playoffs, and maybe the semifinal or the quarterfinals of the playoffs, depending on the year it is, if it's not pushed into New Year's Day. But December, you have Christmas Day action for basketball and football. Hockey is pretty much in their regular season. Don't really watch it as much yet, and but it is a slower month for college basketball. But I would say December, you have your fantasy football playoffs, final playoff push for football. That's where I put December, number four.
Number four, I've got November.
November.
Yeah, I really like November. You got pretty quality NFL games. You got the Thanksgiving games, of course. NBA is in full swing, unlike October. One
Yeah.
of the more critical months, right there at the beginning. NHL also in full swing. College football coming up towards the end. It's maybe a bit of a slower college football month, but it's not
Yeah.
too bad either. College basketball also has some non-conference games there in November, so definitely no complaints there.
Yeah, November. I forgot to mention that for Thanksgiving, that whole week where you have rivalry games and you have those college basketball early tournaments like the Maui Invitational
Yeah,
for Thanksgiving. They should have, I think November would have been a couple spots higher for me if I put that into consideration.
yeah, it's fair.
And then number three, who do you have?
And number three, this is where December comes into the list for me. You
Okay.
got college bowl games, the start of, well, not really the NFL playoffs, but the games right before the playoffs. So you got those final games that are really leading down the last stretch there. And then you got full regular season, NBA, NHL, like I was saying before. College football playoffs are starting. It's a pretty
Mhm.
good month all around.
Absolutely. December, a great month. I did have it at the four spot. For me, number three is one that you had in the bottom half, and this is going to be April for me.
Interesting
I'll,
choice.
I'll explain why. You have the baseball season starting up. You also have the national championship game and Final Four. It's usually in April as well. Plus, you have spring games for football, for college football, also spring football season as well through most of April as well. And you have the NHL and NBA playoffs starting up at the same time, plus one more event. The NFL draft is in April as well.
That's a fair point. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't consider the NFL draft, didn't consider the Final Four or the championship. I was thinking March Madness, March, but definitely those are worth considering. Might have overlooked that in my ranking of April.
And also the Masters as well in April.
That's true.
And how about number two?
And number two for me, this is where March sees its place. Of
Okay.
course, March Madness, one of the greatest events in all of sporting, as well as final stretch for NBA, NHL. You got a little smidge of baseball sometimes going on at the end of March. So
Most of
there's
spring training's in
definitely,
March.
yeah, spring training, if nothing else, definitely a good month.
This is exactly where I have March as well at number two. March Madness, wall-to-wall coverage. Probably the only day where you stop work in the middle of the day to watch college basketball or any sports really. I mean, March is definitely that month where you have all that. In addition to finding out the seeding for NBA and NHL playoffs, plus you have the NFL Combine as well. March is definitely appropriate number two for me.
All right, net number one. Who do you have, Preston?
For me, this is where I put October. I mean,
Hmm.
because NFL season in full swing, and you have college football pretty much in full swing as well. Plus, you're getting to the beginning of the NHL and NBA season, plus baseball's postseason. This is the only time of year where you can have a sports equinox, really, where all four sports are playing on the same day. So that's why October is at first for me.
Yeah, I think I pushed October down a little bit because there's not a lot of NBA. Don't have NHL the whole month, and that's where that came in for me. But for my number one, I've got January. You've
January.
got college football, the national championship game, NFL playoffs. You got the start of conference play for college basketball. NBA and NHL are both in full swing. It's a pretty good month.
Absolutely. I didn't consider the college basketball going into conference play during that month. That's when people really start getting into college basketball for the season. Kind of figure
Yeah,
out where you are in that category.
yeah, for sure. It definitely jumps it into the next level of watching, I'd say.
Absolutely. Well, that was our ranking of the 12 sports months of the year. Tell us what you thought, what you agreed with, what you disagreed with. Make your own list in the comments section below. But tell us, what did we get right? What did we get wrong? We'll see you again for another episode on Monday. And also, we are live tonight for the NBA play-in action. Orlando Magic hosting the Charlotte Hornets in a must-win game for the Magic. Hopefully, we can get that done. As always, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you again next time.